Good evening and welcome to episode 33 of Endless Banter. Sorry that we weren't here last week. I do apologise. It was my fault. I'm sorry. I hope everybody's doing well this week. I see there's a fair few of you in chat waiting already. Good evening, Mr. PH. How are you doing, sir? How's your week been? What are you vaping? What have you had for tea? And how's life? Because you seem happy tonight.
I'm vaping. What have I got in there? Bloodsucker. Vampire Vape Bloodsucker 12 milligram. In another new AO because I keep dropping the cunts and smashing them to bits. I'm drinking a cup of coffee, and I had a baked potato with tuna fish for my dinner. I haven't eaten since about 1:30, something like that.
I won't blame Tash because you probably turned around and said you weren't hungry when you walked through the door.
To be fair, we met up earlier at dinner time, went back and then we brought the kids in McDonald's.
Oh, Mackie D's. I
don't enjoy it since I've had my band.
I don't enjoy it. I just eat Mackie D's just because it's just ease, isn't it? It's
Mackie D's is one of them foods that, look, you could eat a Big Mac in 4 bites maximum. You have 4 or 5 chews and swallow it. And it tastes what it tastes like, but when you try chewing a bite of a Big Mac for fucking 45 seconds, mate, it's disgusting.
No thanks. No thanks. Jeez. But you're doing well with it, though. Going on to the band, you're doing really well with it. You're doing really well with it. You're keeping the weight off, and it's obviously you're dropping more weight. You know, you're obviously more comfortable. You're obviously more happy. You've not posted on your page in a while.
I forget, mate. I'm fucking that busy. I forget how many pages I've got to post on that board. That's the only reason why I don't post on it. I just forget.
Doing really well. I see Tash is smashing the gym as well now.
She's slacking this week, mate.
She don't even need it. I don't know why she goes.
Just for fun.
She goes, so she got peace and quiet when she leaves Emmy in the crash. Does she go in the crash?
Yeah, she loves it in there.
What is it, like a ball pool and stuff?
Yeah, they've got like a little ball pit, and then there's obviously little carers in there looking after them. There's other babies. She don't even want to come out when I go and get her after my hour. She'll be like, I'm playing, I'm busy. It works.
Good excuse for me to go to gym, but I just don't want to go to gym.
I'm a fully fledged member.
Yeah, but I just use it for a swimming pool. I feel I'm like a duck in water or a whale in the sea when I get into water.
From our age, the gym is a mission from our age. It's not 20 minutes, 25 when I left work. It took me when I went from work.
I absolutely love swimming.
I actually really enjoy swimming as well.
I'm not a strong swimmer, but I do enjoy swimming. You've seen me pictures of me posing in sea and stuff like that. I feel like a duck out of water when I'm not in water. I love going in water. I love the sea.
I could retrieve a rubber brick from the bottom of the pool in my pajamas. Fuck, you had to do that exam when I was swimming at school. And I had to borrow someone's pajamas as well. We weren't a family of pajama wearers.
What? In pajamas to do your swimming? When you have to save somebody in your pajamas? And that's what it is, isn't it? When you do your lifeguard.
Put your pajamas on, you have to dive in and then get the rubber brick off the bottom.
No way.
I'm trying to think whose pajamas I'd have been wearing because we weren't a pajama wearing family. We had pants that
Speedos with the S missing. Fucking I love it. Oh, we've got loads and loads of news this week because obviously we missed last week. We got loads of stuff to talk about, and the first subject I want to talk about is: did you see well, you wouldn't have seen the paper. You'll have seen people sharing it around Facebook. But did you see that I think it was the Sun reporting about that guy who inhaled the drip tip into his lungs?
I've seen it, and I didn't even read it, mate. And I deleted the person that shared the post.
You know what made me laugh about the post is the bloke says in the article, he was inhaling and he sucked this drip tip into his throat. It went into his lungs. And then he turned around and said, I've gone back to facts. I just read it and I laughed. So basically, it must have been sucking so hard on that mod.
There's more drip tip, right? It's akin to quite a big Tic Tac. And I've swallowed thousands of Tic Tacs and none of them have ever gone into my lungs. Why are they even suggesting that the fucking drip tip went in the cunt's lungs?
You tell me. You tell me. It must have got lodged here, but they're shot. But I've literally seen an image of a X-ray, and then there's this drip tip, and it's been fucking like you remember the proper shaped black ones, it's the plastic ones. It's been like photoshopped. I was like, what the fuck is this? It was fucking ridiculous, like literally right next to his logo. I was like, what is going on here? It was brilliant. The thing is, and going on to sort of it's funny, but on the serious side of things is the reason these posts get put about and people in the norm know about this.
Wanker. I'm echoing bad again.
Am I echoing?
Yeah.
What about now?
Hello. Not so much.
He's echoing like.
I seen a post. I'm trying to think what the actual contents of the post was. It was basically something about, and I'm trying to think who even shared the fucking thing. Someone shared a post, posted up the other day saying something like, I'm fucking sick of people who smoke, wafting my vape out their way and whatever when they're at a bus stop or whatever, and rare. It might have even been a Stoptober post about getting onto vaping or whatever. Some woman who definitely should have a cunt stitched up because she shouldn't be allowed to have kids. Something along the lines of, I have to disagree with you. My auntie started vaping 9 months ago and she's now got popcorn lung. I didn't even know. Like, this was someone on my newsfeed who's just on there as a vapor. It's not like a friend of mine. I commented on it saying, don't be so fucking stupid. These had put, now you can't get popcorn lung from that because popcorn lung's something from like the fucking 50s and 60s from the popcorn factories and diacetyl and rare. And there's 250 million times more diacetyl in cigarettes than vape, and it's banned in the UK now. And she put, let's just agree to disagree. And I was like, no, actually, let's not agree to disagree. You're a cunt. Your auntie's got popcorn lung. She's obviously eating popcorn the same way that cunt's eating fucking drip tips.
It was someone was put in the chat. I forgot to mention it. In that very news article, it said when he was breathing, he was whistling
like a dog toy.
The fucker was whistling. This drip tip stuck in his lung, and he's whistling away. Can you imagine it? We were in bookies. He said he worked in the bookies. I don't understand. He's working in the bookies. Nobody's going to come in till 12 o'clock, it says in the news article. Why the fuck's he talking in a fucking bookies in the start off? And then he goes back and works and fucking whistling while he's taking fucking £2 bets for horses. two quid.
Lock the dog out of snatch, you know, and the dog eats the fucking dog toy. Growling and going,
It fucking honestly cracked me up, that news article. But as I said before, people sharing it, you said I deleted the person who shared it. And this is what fucking going on to the serious side of things is this is what gets it to the norm. This is what it gets to regular people, and people turn around and actually believe these sort of shitty fucking stories.
I once seen a wanker, I won't name him, switching up an oikos, saying fuck oikos. Yeah. And there's people commenting on that video saying, what's an oikos? I'll just Google it. And they've gone, oh, fucking hell, it's a better way of smoking cigarettes. I'm going to buy one of them cunts.
Exactly. You're putting it more into the limelight, aren't you? You're putting exactly where they want to be.
genuinely have started just blocking and deleting pricks that share shit. Not even if it's not vape related, just fucking morons have started slowly fucking reducing the herd.
I fucking absolutely love it. So we had to start on a bit of a fun one this week because I saw that shared around Facebook and I did genuinely think it was fucking brilliant. Remember, guys, as well, obviously we will be doing the Ask the Boys questions. We did get some questions last week. I did have a show prepared last week, but obviously last minute we did cancel the show, so I will answer the questions from last week in the Ask the Boys. But there's been so much news going on this week. It is unreal. I don't know whether this one, Tash may have seen it in one of her mum's groups.
Mate, they're worse than fucking vapors.
There's a group in America called PAVE, right? And it's a set of mums that have set it up in America, and it's Parents Against Vaping E-Cigarettes, right?
No.
So, Tash, if it gets into your mum's groups and start talking about going a fucking stance in London against vaping, we know where it's coming from. But they're saying, so in the States, obviously, this big, massive pandemonium, epidemic, whatever you want to call it, about Juul and all the kids using the Juuls in the States, they're turning around and starting this group. I just wanted your honest opinion on what you thought about parents sort of doing this kind of thing. Being a dad, being a father, you know, you can understand, obviously, you don't want your kids to vape, you don't want your kids to smoke.
These fucking same cunts, from Thursday night until Sunday night are sniffed off their fucking face, getting fucked by anyone that's got a cock, and they're spending Monday to Thursday in these groups pretending to be parents of the year.
So what do you think of these Parents Against Vaping? Obviously, we've got, you know, smoking's not good for you, drinking's not good for you, going out partying and leaving your kid on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday is not good for you.
I've just joined their page and I will be posting up shortly.
Yeah, it is. It's Parents Against Vaping E-Cigarettes.
It's an actual like page, isn't it?
Yes, it's actually a thing. It
I
genuinely.
am one of the 224 people that like that page, and I will post them some abuse shortly. Mate, these are the same mad Americans whose fucking kids are smoking crack at school.
Exactly. But that's because obviously we discussed a week, I think it was 2 weeks back, about obviously they're saying they want to do the testings on whether, you know, vaping is good and whatnot in the States and everything like that. Me personally, I think that it's getting taken too far in the States at the minute. We have obviously got other news articles to discuss, but this is obviously just the start of it, and they're literally stating that, you know, they're campaigning to stop kids vaping. None of us really want to see that. Let's be realistic. None of us want to see it. But
how many of them same twats are in a Facebook group called Parents Against Children Smoking Cigarettes? Absolutely fucking cockwombles they are. Absolute idiots.
Or fucking Parents Against Smoking Cannabis, or against drinking.
Parents Against Children Injecting Heroin.
Exactly. That's my annoyance. And they've actually got a fucking board and everything. It's a full organisation that they've started. Parents Against Vaping E-Cigarettes. Don't get me wrong. It's difficult to say. Yes, okay, we understand it, and none of us as parents want to see our kids smoke or do anything wrong. But to start up a group,
the sort of cunts that sit on the board at the school, they're school governors, they're in the fucking local fucking busybody nosy cunt group, you know, whatever it's called, neighbourhood watch. They're just bored fucking women who have probably not had any cock for a long, long time, and they've got fucking what to do than to start Facebook. I bet half of them even got fucking kids. they're the sort of people that defend black people when someone uses the word nigger. And it's got fuck all to do with them. Just wind your neck in. Mate, you know what? There's 224 people. There might be a few more now. Oh, there's 224. I'm about to write a post. You.
I'm starting him off. I'm starting him off. If anybody else wants to go over and join Paul on the Parents Against Vaping Electronic Cigarettes, you are more than welcome. Yeah, at the end of the day, we get it, but there's other things in the world to worry about than what these kids are doing in that sense. I don't want to see my little one vaping or smoking. I know Paul don't want to see his kids vaping or smoking, but...
Mate, I would rather my kids vape. Oh, God. Now my post gone for approval. They ain't getting approved for shit. See, that's how you know they're a pack of dickheads, man. They're all in an admin chat now going, oh my God, have you seen this English dude? He told me he owns a vape company, and oh my God. Fucking
oh, fucking hell.
I'm just trying to fucking read some of the posts. They are a pack of dickheads, man.
If you want to read the article on it is fucking brilliant. Combat teens against dual use. What the fuck? It's like, come on.
No, I half get that because I keep seeing the kids coming out of school vaping. It looks horrible.
No, you know what he does, but he don't look as horrible as someone walking out with a fag, kid walking out with a cigarette.
It doesn't, but you still don't want to vape.
No, I'd never advocate it. I've said all the way through, I'm a dad, and I was smoking from the age of, I had my first cigarette at 11. I was actually actively smoking from when I was about 12 and a half, right the way through to when I stopped smoking. Like literally, so fucking, I don't know, 25 years worth of smoking. And as much as I wouldn't want my kids to smoke and I wouldn't want them to vape, I would rather them vape than smoke cigarettes. Simple as that.
Yeah, 100%. We've always been honest about it, and that's the thing. You know, we always turn around and go, yes, if there is kids will do what kids do. We were all kids. We understand. We was dicks at the time of when we were kids. Kids will do whatever they want to do, and I get that these parents want to stop it, but, you know, there's only so far you can go, and to start a fucking actual board about stopping kids and campaigning about kids vaping, well, I'm sure there's worse things that your kids could be doing to campaign about.
Can you not put web links in the comments, Tom?
Yeah, I can put the article in if you want.
Well, I've just tried to, and it's fucked me off.
Oh, let's have a look, because it might have. Let's have a look. Post it again. What did it say?
Say sorry, remove any web addresses and try again.
And what's that for the Facebook group?
It's facebook.com/parents against vaping in capital letters because they're fucking. If you go to that group and everyone share www.shade-e-vaping.co.uk, book DAP parents for 10% off.
Daft parents, I'm gonna make that code. Daft parent 10.
Sullivan just said kids experiment, it happens. There was girls sucking cock in Sheldon at 11 years old, right? And these people are worried about a fucking babe.
Approval denied, I'll just tell you that, Paul.
Right.
Zach said, approval denied, I'll just tell you that now. Yeah, they ain't gonna prove nothing on that page.
I'm going to start a page against parents who are against vaping.
Parents against parents who are against vaping.
Parents against parents who are against their kids vaping on e-cigarettes.
Send them vape videos. Someone said send them vape videos.
The jewel is their profile picture, man.
What the jewel is?
Yeah, Look, I'll fucking do a screen share. Well, it's basically a jaw with a no entry sign through it.
Oh my
Half
god.
of the trollops that are on it probably need a no entry sign across their fucking arms. Fucking
Fucking hell. Oh, so yeah, as I say, if anybody wants to go across there and have a word, you can have a word.
You can't, mate. They're not approving shit. What I need to do is I need to put a post up saying I'm totally in agreement with this. When they accept it, I'll edit my post. I'll put a big post up and get all the Yanks to like it, and then I'll what I'm saying.
just put the website up there. It's fucking brilliant. So yeah, parents against vaping. It's a big thing in America these days. So I'm just going through all these news articles that I've saved, and there is so much news. So much news. Aeroplane. Let's have a look at this one for aeroplane. Vape mod fires in plane causing emergency landing. Let's have a read of this article. So, I know this was a flight from Turkey to Paris. A Turkish airliner made an emergency landing Tuesday after vape mod. A vape mod. I fucking hate when they say this shit. The word is so wrong. Caught fire in the cargo hold. No passengers were injured. It's telling us where the flight was going, the flight number. Let's have a look. According to the Points guy, the emergency was caused when an e-cigarette battery burst into flames in the checked luggage. Turkish Air News reported that no intervention from firefighters was needed. Most vape battery fires and explosions are can't even say that word. Let's have a look. But a fire in an enclosed space with other flammable materials like hairsprays, colour and liquor could be catastrophic. And since the cargo area is unsupervised, the only solution when the fire alarm goes off is to land the plane. Airlines usually require vapes to be carried in with the passenger in the cabin to avoid battery accidents in the cargo hold, like most airlines. Pegasus prohibits lithium batteries and electronic devices that use them in checked luggage. Pegasus doesn't have. Say that again, because I'm echoing like a fuck.
I said, if them batteries got into the hole after going through X-ray, were 18650s or a similar battery, they could have quite easily been an explosive device.
Exactly. I'm sure if an ego was to go up, it's not going to cause a fire.
I don't know. I remember Tasha's auntie messaged me when we first opened the shop. Tasha's auntie messaged one day saying, "Me E6 just exploded and set fire to my carpet." And I was like, "Fucking hell, don't put that on the fucking Facebook page for fuck's sake." I swear to God. And then she sent me a picture of it. And I was like, fucking put it up on my page, man. It's not from us, it's from VIP Vapors. And it was one of them ones where you used to plug it to the wall and it had like a little fucking cradle on it and you screwed your battery right onto it. And it fucking blew. In fact, you screwed it under, I whatever way it was. And it fucking blew and it set fire to a carpet. A little
no.
So I had great delight in sharing that.
So, but what with this going off on the plane and the plane having to, as you say, it doesn't just go deeper to e-cigarettes. If they've not checked it through the scan, as you said, it could have been fucking a bomb. It could have been anything.
Exactly.
So where's the security going when these things have been put on flights incorrectly? And where, because I know you've seen it, I've seen it, when people are going abroad, they always put up, "I'm going abroad, what do I do about my e-cigs?" Well, the airlines don't even give out this information of where the fuck you need to put your e-cigarettes. So it's deeper than actually vaping. So I'm pretty surprised that they've actually put this article out because, as you said, and you've pointed out incidents that it's deeper than what's actually gone on because you've actually never checked the fucking bag. And if you have checked the bag, you've fucking not looked and seen what's in it. And two, it could have been fucking anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think they're putting out this sort of stuff because this is another story that's predominantly being put out in the States?
Full on scaremongering.
Just scaremongering, innit?
I think so. I mean, what difference does it make whether it's an e-cigarette battery or what?
Yeah.
All that article had to say was a battery exploded in the hole, and the battery shouldn't have been in the fucking hole.
Yeah, all we know it could have been 18650 in a fucking rabbit.
Not available yet.
But obviously, there's without sort of leaning towards the story with the States, and we're seeing a lot more with the States. There's literally a massive influx in the shit that's going on in the States now, with them banning all sorts of stuff, putting out loads of bad press, stuff they've got to comply by. Everyone's now got to put the nicotines in these devices, whether you're wearing a fucking e-cigarette hat or a vaping hat or whatever, you've got a logo on your hat's vaping. You know, all these laws and these things that are coming into place, it just seems to be, to me, that they're absolutely fucking over the States.
You know what? There's always stupid people. I can remember when we started selling ego pens and the lot, people advertising that they were selling authentic ego batteries. No, look, what the fuck is an authentic ego battery, you prick? The ego is the thread. It's not a battery. What sells inside this fucking thing? A little 300 mile with a couple of nails taped to it, which I'd seen. Shocking.
I've seen them fucking rolled up and all sorts in there, flat batteries rolled up.
My batteries with fucking bolt sellotape to the side of it to give it some weight.
Yeah. Sand in the bottom of them and that. Sand and all sorts, seen that sort of shit.
And they're posting up saying my batteries are authentic egos. I'm not going to cross thread my fucking CE4.
You see, there's all sorts of dodgy stuff, and just the way that we're looking at it from an American point of view, it's fucking really bad. But talking of people banning stuff, Hong Kong have now announced they've completely banned vaping. Hong Kong is dead out. See you later. You're not vaping here. And that is a fucking huge place.
Fags are too fucking cheap out there, mate.
They are cheap, don't get me wrong, they are cheap, but it's the same with China. We know for a fact that China is huge. And the fact is that majority of people out there who are manufacturing vaping or who are involved in vaping are smoking because it's cheaper to smoke. We know that as a fact. And for these countries to do that, it just makes me think, well, are you doing it because the country's losing money? Well, you know, it's all this power that be. Are they all following pursuit of what's going on in different countries? You know, it's very fluctuated. We read that Australia are obviously doing now scientific stuff to find out whether or not to take off the ban of e-cigarettes. Now we've got countries banning it. India's now banned it. Hong Kong's banned it. I know it's banned in Saudi. You know, a lot of places are now just doing that.
Saudi Arabia cut women's heads off for giving men a cheeky blowjob. You're not allowed to have a fucking vape.
Not allowed to wear shorts on the beach. In Saudi, you're not allowed to wear shorts on the beach. So can you imagine vaping on the fucking beach?
In your shorts?
You're not allowed to wear shorts. You're not allowed to hold hands. You're not allowed to do fuck all. So for them to turn around and go vaping's banned, it's not really like a huge thing, do you know what I mean? You can't even fucking hold your missus' hand walking that fucking street. So who's really going to be fussed about them banning vaping? Nobody really. Let's be realistic. The laws out there are ridiculous. So for countries like Hong Kong to turn around and go, do you know what? We're going to ban it. To me, it's definitely the powers that be and they're losing money. Can you imagine if China turned around and said, we're banning vaping? Fucking everyone would be fucked. Everyone would be absolutely fucked.
Mind you, I was talking to one of our Chinese suppliers the other day. Actually, the person who manufactures Endless, and they said that their business had seen about a 70% downturn.
What, because of America?
Well, just generally, I think obviously they manufactured for us. But I think the year before last, they made alone yeah, 2016-17, which was actually the year that we launched. No, it won't. We launched in 15, but the year following that, just Manhattans alone, they made 90,000 Manhattan clones.
Wow. Wow. But we've discussed this. We said this earlier that obviously the clone market is very quiet, very, very quiet. We discussed it on a few other shows that obviously the market itself is not as booming as it was. We can all see that, and obviously these manufacturers are also taking a big blow on it as well. I think it's vaping as a whole. Must be people out there still balling.
As well.
There must be people still out there making money.
Yeah, I think they're still making money. I think they obviously rode the same wave that we rode in this country, that America rode in their country, and everything's just settled down a bit now. I think one of the biggest things is now that people buy a device and they use that device until it's fucked. We bought a device and used that device for 24 hours until a new device come out.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the way of buying vaping gear has definitely changed. 100%. It's been flipped on its head for, I'd say, probably a year and a half now. But you've got
12 months for us to see a downturn of hardware sale.
Yeah.
Liquid is still as good as.
Yeah.
Apart from obviously we're not selling as much sub-ohm liquid because not as many people are sub-ohming what there was.
It's just the big turnaround sort of thing. I think there's going to be, because we've said this before, that obviously the people that are getting in vaping have been in vaping now for a couple of months, 6 months, and now sort of doing that cycle now, turning into sub-ohming, turning into. I think there will be a flip side. I think we will come out of it.
I think Mech will be busy next year.
I do. I think we'll come out of it. I really do. I think we'll have a flip side of it, and it'll change, because you've got your countries like the UK, like America, that have had a massive change in the last 18 months. A massive change. You've got places like Germany that are just starting to kick in with their mech all the way through. You know, a lot of the big shows that they go to, a lot of it's mechs. You know, a lot of massive devices. You know, and I think these countries that are sort of unseen to what's going on, obviously, like Germany's under the TPD and stuff like that, but obviously they've still got a lot of people who homebrew is massive in Germany. You know, we don't have that. You could look back and we could say 3-4 years ago, DIY everybody was DIYing. Now the DIY scene is very much quiet, because let's be realistic, liquid prices are at the lowest they've ever been. Like the post you put up about donuts, 14 quid for a 30 ml.
Nash, mate.
My echoing again. Hold on.
$17.99 that liquid was supposed to retail for. And us being us, we did it for $16.99. I used to pay when it first launched, the very first pack I ever bought, I paid £9.25 plus the VAT.
Fuck me.
Mate, and that was buying like 100 zeros, 100 threes, and 100 sixes. But there's not a liquid now that I stock apart from our own. I'd buy every 100 bottles of it. Ever. There's people getting distro prices for buying 50 fucking bottles of liquid now. And this was just an order. No, there is, honestly. I was talking to someone the other day that manufactures liquid, and they've got it into one of the big distros. And I said, how's it going? And like, what sort of volume do they take? And he's like, 100 of each flavour. For distro, mate, 100 of each flavour.
What?
When we done Slushy Man in the UK and we bought it in from America, nearly $12,000 that order cost me for 3 flavours. Three flavours, and I had to buy 0, 3, and 6. And we used to probably sell 30 bottles of 3 milligram for every 0 and 6 we sold, but I still had to buy equal quantities of all 3 of them.
Wow. Fucking 100 bottles of each on distro.
100 bottles of each. That's a big distro as well.
Wow, that's fuck me.
I was buying 100 bottles of donuts just for our shop, and it was selling out like fuck, mate. I mean, that liquid sold. That was like, for me, that was like one of the game-changing liquids where flavour was just next level on that liquid. I love it.
Yeah, because that flavour itself, because it's only just as you've got it, it's just come out of shop fill, hasn't it?
To be fair, it's been out a while in short fill, and the last time I missed it. So when I seen it the other day, I was like, I need some of that.
But once again, it goes back down to fucking pricing again. You're getting 60 ml of juice for what it used to, less than what it used to cost for a 30. And people that's expensive.
We've got Biscuit Man in at whatever, $13.99 for 100 ml.
Yeah.
We've got some in the shop.
I would honestly love to take everybody who's been in vaping for a year, 2 years, and just take them back and show them what it was like before.
When I see these posts going, can anyone tell me the best place to get cheap juice? I'm sick of paying £11.50 for 120 ml. I want to grab them and fucking hold the head in a bucket of VG until their legs are kicking like fuck. Pull them back out and say, are you taking the piss, mate?
I would love to take people on a fucking journey. I would honestly.
Our local shop is selling 2 100 mils for $17.99, and they wonder why we're not supporting the bricks and mortar. Get the fuck, mate, you stupid.
But let's be realistic. Do you think that's a lot of the fault of some juice manufacturers?
No, I think it's the fault of the people who put TPD in place, quite frankly. You know what? It proved there's two things there. One, the margin on liquid was always too much. And it was always too much. And some people made millions of pounds out of liquid. When like I say, when we dropped Balls Vape, mate, $18.99 for 30 mil, £11 it was costing me to buy that into the shop. And I had a 10 mile exclusive on it on my shop, and I was spending dough to get it in my fucking shop. Do you know what I mean? And I can't remember how many flavours, 6 weren't there? 6 in Balls Vape. But then flavours, genuinely, that was probably one of the, not all the profiles were up my street, but the actual liquid itself was one of the cleanest vaping liquids I've ever vaped ever in 6 years. It was fucking quality. And it was like the first yogurt flavour I ever tried. It was the flavours were actually, they were nice, but it was smooth, and you just knew that the quality of the nicotine was right. And even like people at the moment are going on about fucking, oh, my coil only lasted me 36 hours. I might as well just go back to smoking cigarettes. You know what? I was talking to a liquid manufacturer in Manchester who said, I know so many people who are manufacturing don't realise that shit VG will fuck your coil up. So like you've got these people producing 100 mil and retailing it at fucking 6, 7, 8, 9 quid. They're using the cheapest ingredients. And I'm not saying it's shit liquid, but it is a shit grade of quality product that's making that liquid. And it will have a degenerative effect on your coils, because it just will.
Of course.
You put fucking shit petrol in your car and it runs like a bag of shit.
It's like a lot of people don't know, but VG also carries quite a lot of sweetener, a lot of sugar in it.
Yep.
VG is very sweet on its own. If you ever try VG on its own, it's sweet. So if you start adding sucrose and sweetener to juice to make it even more sweeter, it's gonna fucking damage coils. But people are turning around and going, these coils are shit. This tank shit's not holding up. It's down to the fucking juice you're vaping. It's these decisions that people use to fucking try 120 mil for 6 quid and then turn around and go, I fucking had a coil in for 2 minutes. Well, you fucking
days on the coil, I can vape it at 200 watts. I've only been running it at 180 watts, and it's only lasted me 3 days. I have since wrote a letter through my solicitor and sent it to Smock.
Paul Jones says, I paid 30 quid for 120 mil. I remember when fucking what was it? What was that big tall bottle?
One It Wonder.
One It Wonder. One like 45, 50 quid for 120s?
65 quid for 180 mil.
65 quid.
I was buying it at £30 plus the VAT, 36 quid. Or was it 35? Might have been 35 plus the VAT, £42. And when I bought it, I was like, fucking hell, no one's going to buy 180 mil of liquid, man.
Blew
And
out.
it flew out like we were selling crack. Because back then it was about the whole Instagram thing. It was about hand checking this massive bottle of liquid. And actually, I can remember messaging whoever we had it off, when it first came into the UK, we had it off a company that had exclusive on it. And I remember messaging them and saying, am I okay to get some labels made and I'll bottle it down out of them bottles myself into 10 mils? Because at the time, we would have got $6.99 for 10 mil of liquid.
Yeah.
So on that 180 mil, we'd have got about 100 quid or whatever the maths is on that. It's just mad, mate. It's crazy. Like fucking 20 mil bottles of Cosmic Fog were fucking 14 quid and shit like that. And
Charlie's Chalk Dust.
yeah, 20 mil bottles, £14.
Yeah, Charlie's, Cosmic Fog. Who else was there? That's quite. Someone saying here, Space Jam. Space Jam was huge.
Space Jam was the first American liquid I ever tried ever.
Space Jam was.
Yep.
See, when we saw all these American liquids, and the thing is for me now these days is we looked at these American liquids as a superior liquid, and these days the English juice, the English manufacturers is as good, if not better, these days.
Mate, I think a lot of it was that obviously we'd gone from mouth to lung vaping generally into a sub-home market that we were experimenting and learning and sort of growing with. And when they could have sent shit in a bottle and it tasted way, way better than any 10 mil liquid you'd ever vaped in the mouth to lung. So it was like a whole new experience, everything. And you're like, no way, man. And then you'd have like these companies claiming, yes, you get strawberry on the inhale and you get a deep cream on the exhale. Fuck off, mate. You just get a strawberry cream, right? Stop trying to fucking make out that you've done some magic where the flavours split up on the way in and the way out. But wankers bought it in this country and gone, oh, it's delicious. It tastes like strawberries when you take it in and cream when you blow it out. And I'm yet to ever try a flavour and get two different flavours on the inhale and the exhale, ever. I mean, I've said it loads and loads and loads of times. When the right product got dropped in the UK, if the right person said it was the right product, it could have been the shittest thing in the market and there wasn't enough people to stand up and say it's shit.
Yeah.
And literally the hype of people carried products in this country, probably I would say for the last 4.5, it's only been the last year and a half where people have started saying, fuck off with your fucking begging postman. Fuck off with your sponsorships. Fuck off with this and fuck off with that. Because up until that point there, like I would see some certain people with products, and as a retailer, I'd bust my ass to find out where I get that product from. Because if they're using it, this thing's going to fly out. And if I can get it first, second, third in the queue, we're going to make some money out of it quick. And that's what we've done. That's what we were good at. And we sourced them products and we were on it. And I'd be looking through it. Like even Slushy Man, I was looking through Instagram and literally I've seen their post. They've got something like 16 likes on their post, just about to launch in America. And I inboxed them, can we take this in the UK? Yeah, you can, but you need to take fucking however many thousand bottles it was. And I was like, well, how much is that? And like glass bottles, the shipping cost me about fucking $4,000 or something. Like literally, it was crazy. We'd got bottles of this fucking shit in our shop of just one brand of liquid, 3 flavours. And I had to do that in order to have it to sell the fucking, do you want me to have exclusive on it?
It was the race. It was definitely a race.
Until I said to them, I don't want it anymore. No one else got that liquid into the UK. We had it because even then the manufacturers were loyal to what you'd done. So like anyone that messaged Slushy Man direct and said, we want to take your liquid in the UK, they'd put them in touch with us and say, actually, Shady Vaping have got exclusive on it. They'd never, ever backdoor you. They wouldn't fuck you over. So actually, we sold the product. We sold it. We sold out of it. And then I decided actually that was at a time where new stuff was landing regular. I was like, you know what, we've done the back out of it now. Let's move on to something else, find something different. Let's see what else is out there. Now,
There isn't that exclusivity like there used to be, though, is there?
yeah, but you know why, mate? Because there's so much shit out there. I went to the wholesalers with Tasha on Monday, and there must be, I would say, 400 brands of liquid in that wholesalers.
Fucking hell.
Now, if that's 400 brands, so there's probably somewhere between 1,600 and 2,000 flavours. But I'd imagine there's only about 160 flavours. There's 2,000 different names, but there's only so many fucking strawberry watermelon chills you can do. There's only so many orange fantasias you can do. There's only so many strawberry milkshakes you can do. Yeah. And that's why when we were done our AF run, I didn't just want a strawberry milkshake. I wanted something different. The Strawgasm doesn't taste like strawberry milkshake. Yeah, and exactly. Our lemon doesn't taste like lemon tart from Dinner Lady. I didn't want to just do that. I didn't want to like just pick 12 generic flavors that are out there and smashing it and copy them and clone them and say, yeah, we've got a new thing out there. I want to do something a little bit different. I mean, most of the flavors, the only one that's probably is a bit generic is the Great Bubblegum, the Grum. Even then, it's not like any other Great Bubblegum I've tried, but I mean, there's lots of great bubblegums out there, but the pineapple mango cream, I've not had a vape that tastes like that. Yeah. And actually, I was seeing yesterday someone's launched a pineapple mango cream, and I'm cool with that. I ain't got an issue with that. There's only so many ways you can skin a cat.
Yeah.
And actually, until something different comes out, it is what it is, mate. And for me, liquid's only going to get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper.
Do you think if they removed the sort of TPD stuff, or we went back to where it was, the liquid prices would go back up, or do you think people are expecting that now? We set such a standard that is now the standard price of everything, what everything's currently sitting at.
You know what? It could have a small margin increase for the TPD costs, maybe. Maybe.
For me personally, I really think that the prices will only really go up if there was sort of something that was worsened in the TPD, if that's even a word. You know, if it got worse in the TPD and that people was like scrounging for liquid, I think that's the way that the price would go up because of the demand of it. As you just said, you went in and there was like 1,600 flavors of juice, or like and 6 of them were all the same. You know what I mean? I think the only way for it for increasing is through demand. If you can't get it, there's going to be a high demand.
One thing's proved to me in the last month that there's still a way of exploiting is not the right word. But when I've seen a certain companies, and I'm genuinely not going to name them because I'm not doing this to fucking start a shit store. When I've seen a 10ml bottle of Nick Salt retailing at $6.99 and thought that someone at our shop had got it wrong, and then realised that I'd paid with the VAT over £3 for a 10ml bottle. We bought it once and we ain't bought it since, because $6.99 for 10ml of liquid, in my opinion, is a piss take. I don't care what fucking bottle it comes in. I don't care who's made it. I don't care how you've refined your Nick Salt. $6.99 for 10ml of liquid is a fucking joke. But that is probably, because of who they are and the brand they've got, is probably one of the biggest selling Nick Salts at this minute in time.
I think it's ballsy to do that, though.
The market is about to get flooded with Nick Salt.
Yeah.
We're about to drop our own Nick Salt. At a time when we looked at doing ours, and it was as with the AF, one of my criteria is always about the flavour. I don't see the point in selling anything, whether it's cheap, middle of the road, or expensive, that doesn't do what it's supposed to do. So my first criteria is always, we need to achieve some sort of flavour profile that is better than anything else, in my opinion, that's out there. Now, one of the things that makes me, like, Dr. Frost is one of the biggest selling brands of 2018, I would say. Generally across the UK, it's a big fucking brand, and it's done really, really well. and he's just converted it into 50-50, 612 and 18. And Tasha's using it, and she's like, it don't taste nothing like the big bottle. Now she's using it now. She's using the great Dr. Frost, and she's got the same liquid for a spine AO or whatever she was using mouth to lung. Now it's probably exactly the same mix of liquid, but you won't get the same amount of flavour coming through any mouth to lung device as what you will getting out of a sub-ohm tank, and you don't get the same flavour out of a sub-ohm tank that you get out of a dripper.
Yeah.
It's just the way that it is. You can't change that. And I said to Tash, it probably is an identical mix. You're just not getting that flavour transfer. Now, we had the flavours come through for our samples, and I'm not even exaggerating. All 8 flavours, including the tobacco, were fucking fire. And even just dabbing it, the only thing was I was dabbing away on these fucking Nick salts, and after about 10 minutes, I was whizzing my tits off, mate. But I said to Tash, fucking hell, that's mint. That is proper nice. It's proper nice. And then we've got a pineapple mango is one of the flavours. And it's fucking quality. And yet when I put it into my mod, and then I had a video call with the manufacturer, and he was like, what do you think? And I said, mate, on the taste test on my tongue, all of them are fire. In my mod, it's just not as good. They completely changed the mix and sent me back some more flavours. So actually, when you taste test them on the tongue, they're probably too much. But when you put it in the mod, it converts right. And that's the sole reason why we haven't got TPD on this range for Expo. Because until I've got the flavour profiles right, I wasn't prepared to submit them because it's fucking £1,000 of flavour to submit it.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's rush it just to get a new brand release at Expo. Because if it's not right, I'm wasting not only my money on Expo, I'm wasting my money fucking whatever it is, £10,000 to do 4 flavours. It's fucking ridiculous. But if it's right, I know that it will sell. Regardless of how that market's flooded, we'll find our market, we'll get it out there. But I know when people try our salts, they're going to be pleasantly surprised because they are fire. But actually, I believe because you've got so many people, like I've always made to lung, Tom, so most flavours that I try in a made to lung device, I'm just like, yeah, that's all right, it's good. Most people who are made to lung in now, especially on salts, have gone from dripping, where you're getting the most extreme flavour, back to mouth to lung. And a lot of people are suffering bad quality flavoured salts because there's no option out there. Now, I'm not talking bad about any of them. We sell salts in the shop. I'm not pointing fingers at any manufacturer or any brand of salt. I just think that they've used the same style of mixes of liquid that we get in any normal 6, 12 and 18 milligram bottle. And that's fine for someone that's only ever vaped that style of vaping. Because they get the flavour that they want, they get the flavour they've always got, they're doing what they do. You put someone on a dripper for 3 years and then stick them back to a mouth to lung device, especially a pod system, where you haven't got this fucking 0.07 firing at you. You've got a 1 ohm coil or a 1.2 or a 1.5 or a 0.7 at the best, 0.6 maybe, or them sort of ohmage. You're not getting that immense amount of vape into your mouth to get that immense flavour.
No.
The only way we've been able to do it is by upping the concentrate levels in the mix. Actually, the first samples we had were 70-30. We've gone down to 60-40 so we could increase the concentrate.
Do you think that using flavours for warming in Nick salts?
Will it what, sorry?
I think a lot of people are just reusing their already flavours into Nick salts rather than...
Absolutely. I mean, again, all the big brands that have dropped Nick salts have basically took their top selling flavours and stuck it into a salt. Now, actually, we've gone with a different manufacturer for our salt than the AF range, and that's only because Acer Vapes, who've done the AF range for us, hadn't developed their salt at the time when I wanted to drop the salt. They've actually already launched their salt now. So we've got an option to do the salty as fuck range, and we will still do that. I'm still going to do a salty as fuck range through the AF range. But one of the criteria has to be that the percentage level of concentrate, whether it be too much on the tongue, is right in the tank. Because people have got this thing about, oh, if it tastes nice on your tongue, it's going to be fire. Now, in a lot of cases, that's true. If you're dripping, because you are getting a fairly raw exchange of flavour between the bottle and the thing. I can remember when, and this is no disrespect to Matt at V-Juice at all, they launched their custard last year. And honestly, on the taste, it was one of the nicest custards I've ever tasted. And it tasted properly like Devon tin custard. It was fire. But on a dripper, it's still a nice custard, but it hadn't got that same punchiness that you get out the bottle. Yeah. Now, I can remember 6 years ago, mate, where a bloke fucking messaged our Facebook page. This was before we even opened the shop, to say, mate, I don't know what's wrong with this liquid. It's fucked. And I was like, what flavour you had? Candy floss. Now, the candy floss liquid, it was an 18 milligram candy floss liquid. Now, obviously, that is for mouth to lung vaping. There was only mouth to lung vaping there. I learned and I think what it was is the nicotine quality was that bad. That was all you could taste when you taste tested it. Mm. You stick it in your tank and it don't taste nasty like some liquids did, because some liquids, like even back then, like Hangson and Deckhang and all them, they were Chinese liquids using Chinese grade fucking nicotine. And they weren't dangerous liquids, but they wasn't pleasant. Some of the flavours within them ranges were okay. You get a menthol, it's a menthol. Pretty much, you get an apple and it was nice. You get some flavours and they were like, fucking hell. This kid tasted the candy floss liquid on his tongue. I was like, mate, don't put it in your mouth. It's disgusting. And actually, one of the first people I ever seen, I tell you, the first person I ever seen taste a liquid off their hand. I was in Evolution Vaping, me and James were talking, and there was a geezer that used to come in there. I can't remember his name. He was about 6'25". He was a massive geezer. And he was a chef or something. And I can remember him putting the Zeus juice on the back of his hand and going, me and James looked at each other like, what the fucking hell is this mad cunt doing? Because obviously back then you'd coil a dripper up and try it and go, fucking hell, that's nice. You'd smell it. Never taste it. And I remember him saying to me, if the liquid, like he was saying, fuck, that one's got a bit of fucking absinthe in it, and he was fucking, his palate was next level. And he was a chef and he just knew his shit. Mm-hmm. And then I can remember seeing Tasha do it with liquids before I'd ever done it. And she'd taste the liquid and she was like, yeah, that one tastes nice. And then I can remember Andy from Ohms Vapors, the distro, that's who we had the Balls Vape off. In fact, to this day, he's called Andy Balls in my phone, because that's who we used to have the Balls Vape off him. But Andy had tasted them on his hand. And obviously, as the concentrates got better and the level of nicotine dropped down in sub-ohm liquids, you hadn't got this harshness of the nicotine, really. And then if I think now how our 18 milligram shady vaping range tastes on the tongue now, compared to what an 18 milligram liquid tasted like 6 years ago, it's madness to think how bad the level of nicotine was in them products. It can only be down. I mean, it might not necessarily be down to bad nicotine. I don't know what it was down to.
It was peppery, wasn't it? The nicotine was very peppery.
But it was like, fuck it, like when you had a leaky fucking Kangatech fucking Pro Tank and you took an half mouthful of liquid on the inhaler, it was nasty, man. But now, when I'm using this bloodsucker, if I've fucking flooded the coil and I get a bit in my mouth, it's actually quite, you know what I mean? It's not fucking horrible.
Yeah, the evolution of juice and everything in the teen has definitely increased hugely. You know, as you're saying, going back to, you know, taste testing and that. Everyone hand tests now. I've not done it in a while, because I've gone back to the old school way, because as you say, some liquids are nasty.
Mate, you know what opened my eyes, and I think I said this before, when we were trying the AF flavours, we started off with about 45 flavours. And obviously the first thing you do is dab it on your hand and try it and go, fucking hell, that one's nice. We'll put that to one side. And then there was a certain amount, and then we sort of split them. We had them all here, and then we had them at the vape meet at Dudley, didn't we? And people were trying them or whatever. Remember me and Tash went back to the Ace of Vapes. One of the flavours, Razzmatazz, which is our biggest selling flavour by far, it's probably selling out, and it's not a horrible flavour for me. It's definitely out of the 12 flavours, I'd say it's probably my least favourite. Mm. Just because of the style of vape that it is, the profile that it is. But I would say it's outselling all the others 10-1. Like literally, we've restocked on that more than anything else by a long, long way. And yet it was one of the flavours I had on the shit pile. And it was because I never got round to putting every single fucking flavour in a tank. And I remember them guys saying to me, why don't you like that one? And I was like, it's just bitter, man. It don't taste right. And he was like, nah, you can't fucking taste test like a raspberry, because the raspberry's quite a bitter liquid. So you need to put that in a tank. And then while I was there, Dale Cross built a coil up for me in Miami, and I tried it. I was like, actually, that's fucking nice. That is, and it's like a J2O apple and raspberry. That's sort of the sort of profile that it is. And it just made me think. I wonder how many liquids I've taste tested in the past and gone, fucking hell, that's a bit shit. And it's not. It's just because of the makeup of the concentrate that's in there. So for me, like literally, when I'm saying to put, like when I'm in the shop now, there's flavors like Grump, for instance. You taste test Grump on your hand, and it tastes on your hand like what it tastes like on a dripper.
Yeah.
If you do the same with the lemon puff, it tastes out the bottle like it tastes on the dripper. You do it with the razzmatazz, and it doesn't. So, like, if I was selling that product in the shop, and someone come in and said, "Oh, I want something nice and fruity and refreshing," I'd say, "Well, try this one, but drip it. Don't taste it on your hand because the raspberry's quite bitter. But actually, when you vape it, you don't get that same bitterness." So that's something I've learned myself because
Matthew Weston said pink blood.
You what, sorry?
Matthew Weston said pink blood. Everyone's sort of giving their own impression on what juices they like, and pink blood. I think pink blood's quite nice, and that's quite a good seller as well.
Pink blood is my favourite out of all of them, but that was one of the profiles that I actually specifically wanted for myself.
Yeah, everyone said everyone. It seems that everyone in chat is different. Everyone's saying different things, which you stated from the beginning that it was to fulfill a place where there was everything was different. It wasn't sort of this was this, and you said it from the beginning that every flavor. Obviously, we all know in a line you're not going to like every flavor, but there's not going to be one flavor in there that you don't like. Do you know what I mean?
No, I think like Adele says to me before, like she didn't like. I can't remember what profile of flavour she didn't like.
The cherry bomb.
So she doesn't like cherry bomb.
Sublime as well. Sublime
And the sublime, but actually for me,
Sublime's my favourite.
For me, Sublime is probably my favourite over the
Pink blood.
pink blood and the cherry vanilla Coke. Again, for me, is a banging flavour.
They're my two favourite flavours out the whole line.
But then when I do vape on Cherry Bomb is fucking a badass cherry. Genuinely, I don't like cherry liquids. That says I tried the cherry tunes the other day, which will probably be in one of our new ranges from another supplier. That was fucking cherry tunes, mate. I try all these liquids that claim to be cherry tunes that taste fuck all like cherry tunes. This was fire. It was fucking fire. That's the only other cherry liquid I've ever vaped and gone, mate, that's fucking badass. And when I first tried Cherry Bomb, I was like, that is a cherry aid. It tastes like a cherry aid pop.
Yeah, because you said, I remember you said it on the show. You was like, if I want to vape cherry, there's nothing out there that's like a proper cherry. It's all.
I said it before, and I'll say it again. The best cherry I ever had was a cherry bakewell off that fucking horrible cunt who used to work at Grey Eyes, Joe. And he'd been somewhere. He'd either been to Spain or France or somewhere on the continent to a show, and it was made up with natural ingredients. And it was in a 5 ml bottle, and I had about 3 ml of it. And he said, "Yeah, I'll try that, mate." That whole flavour was fire. That was without a doubt, one of the best liquids I've ever vaped in my life. It was, and cherry bakewell for me is like to perfect that flavour. I'd be a happy man because I could vape that all day, every day. Because the cherry's nice and fresh, the marzipan, and the bit of cake and all that sort. But this liquid was fucking on point. Properly on point. The cherry tasted like the cherry. The marzipan tasted like the marzipan. I've tried countless cherry bakewells. They're all shit. I've not tried a decent cherry bakewell. That one was fucking fire, mate.
Do you think now you're getting into sort of the manufacturing side of things and seeing obviously the flavors and stuff like that? Do you think they've got more real now?
You know what? I think there's still like people say, "Oh yeah, I can't believe." Like someone said to me before, "I can't believe you charge £8 for 30 millilitres." And I was like, "It is what it is," and it's not. And but the one thing about the Acer vapes and some of the other UK manufacturers is they're using quality product. Now the reality is that I can buy a concentrate in a litre now, and I can buy another litre of concentrate, and one of them can be under 20 quid a litre, and one of them can be over £250 a litre. You start banging £250 a litre concentrates into a liquid, you cannot retail it at 7 and 8 and 9 quids for 100ml.
No, pretty bollocks.
You just can't, because by the time you've bottled it, labelled it, you've got to buy the bottle, buy the label, then you've got to bottle it, you've physically got to mix the liquid, you've got to buy the VG, you've got to break the VG down at your fucking 1,000 litres if that's how you're buying them, or your 25 kilo drums, or whatever way you're doing it. People think that this shit just fucking happens, and it doesn't, you know. And that's the only thing that annoys me when I see people posting saying, "Oh, I don't see how that people have got the neck to charge £20 for 100ml of liquid." Some of them products might cost £7 to make. I'm not saying all of them. I'm not saying that. Before everyone goes, no, fuck that, man. You can make 100ml of liquid for fucking £2.50. You can. But you've got to buy. Like, you get to the Ace of Eights, mate. They're sitting on £1 million worth of bottles. Yeah. They're sitting on however many 1,000 litres of VG. They're sitting on however many litres of nicotine. They're sitting on however many litres of PG concentrates. I went to Prohibition Vapes. They're holding something like 1,400 concentrates in stock. Hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of product. They've got, I don't know, 20 people working on the design team. Now, like, when you look at doing a branding of an e-liquid, if you went to, like, obviously, and again, this is no disrespect to anyone on Facebook selling their wares as an e-liquid label designer. Well, you go to a proper designer and say, right, I want to do a 6 flavour profile. This is the overall branding. This is the individual branding for each profile. That could cost you 12 or 1,400 quid to get to a point of saying, yeah, that's what I want. Then you've got to buy your bottles. Chubby grillers can cost upwards of fucking 80p a bottle for a proper chubby griller. Then you've got your label. Label can cost anything between 6p, fucking 40p. Now, 40p ain't a lot of money, but you start sticking the chubby griller, then the 40p label. Then you've got to fucking buy the product. Then you've got to mix the product. Then you've got somewhere to store this product. Look, some people are paying however many fucking thousands and thousands of pounds a month just for warehouse space to store product that's made, so it's pre-steeped before it's bottled, before it goes out to the customer. There's all these factors that determine whether a liquid is 20 quid for 100ml or 6 quid for 100ml. And the people that are making it 6 quid for 100ml, by and large, aren't doing this as their full-time job, or they're at the other end of the scale where they're making 100,000 bottles a week.
Yeah, and they're just using one concept.
And it's literally, it's just about fucking volume, stack them all, selling cheap. You can get to the pound shop and buy a bottle of liquid for £1.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I personally couldn't even sell a bottle of liquid for £1 because I'd lose money. If I had my own bottling facility and I was doing 4 or 5 and 600,000 bottles a week, and I'm only making 10p a bottle, I'm still doing 60 grand a week profit, which is way more than what we've ever done in a fucking week turnover, let alone profit. You know what I mean? So it becomes a numbers game.
Yeah.
So yes, I could sell a bottle of liquid for £1, but I'd have to invest £500,000 in a fucking plant to bottle it. I'd have to employ however many staff are needed to produce 500,000 bottles a week, and I make pennies on each bottle that's sold. But I have to do that 500,000 bottles a week, or the business is in the shit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the way business is. Do you know what I mean? And the thing is, I know people that are doing cheap liquid. I know people that are selling expensive liquid, and you get what you pay for in most cases. And I believe that. And the saying, I've said it. Ben Solana at Six Licks, he's a marketing genius, but also he's backed up with an awesome product.
Yeah.
Six Licks is a wicked brand of liquid. It's got 6 good profiles of liquid. His branding is on point. His point of sale's good for the shops. The way that he does that whole thing for one brand, he's probably got more resource for that one brand than some companies have got for 30 brands of liquid. Because the infrastructure he's put into that company is second to none. But that enables me to sell his liquid for $23.99 for 100ml. When I've got other liquids in the shop at 10 quid for 100ml, people still will not buy the £10 one because they want the Six Licks liquid. And there's lots and lots of people now that have tried to replicate his flavours and his branding and the way that he does it, still can't sell their fucking liquid at 12 quid for 100ml. So it's in some cases, it's got fuck all to do with price.
Yeah.
It's about the overall package for me. And obviously, I'm in lots of different groups on Facebook, and I see lots of different people's points of view. And the only thing that annoys me is when people go, I can't believe they're charged. There was a post the other day about endless mods, and someone's like, if you've paid more than £4.99 for that RDA, you're a prick. And I'm like, I paid more than £4.99. Nah, it's like someone had posted a picture of an RDA of one of our RDAs, and someone's put, oh, it's Chinese, man. If you paid more than £4.99 for that brand new, you're a prick.
Wow.
They cost me like fucking, I don't even know what an RDA cost me, but it's over a tenner. And then there's people there going, and you sell it for 35 quid. But then we buy the deck from one place. We buy the RDA from the same place. That goes out to the anodizers. It's then anodized. It comes back to the factory. They put it together. Then I have to buy the packaging. Then they have to pack it. They have to put the spares set in there. The shipping from China. Look, we've had DHL bills from China. $14,000 for an order.
Fuck me.
So that like we've had when we done. I can't remember what expo it was, but we had a big quantity of stock coming. Not you weren't the Emmys. Like when we had all the cleaners, the cleans, and we had all the RDAs coming. My shipping was $9,000.
Fuck me.
And it's like when people look at the likes of
$8,500 shipping.
It's ridiculous, mate. It's crazy. And I say by the time we've got an RDA in our shop and everything to do with that product getting into our shop is bought and paid for, you know yourself, our margin on a wholesale product is negligible. Because we're not making 20,000 of one product at one time. And if I'd done that, I could probably take 30% off my price and still make the same amount of money. But it means I've got to risk fucking 60 times the amount of money into the project to start off with. And I just knew that any product in vaping does not stand the test of time. There's very few products that stand the test of time. So you produce 30,000 of them, you ain't selling the fuckers. Simple as that. So I might buy them cheaper, and I sell them to you guys cheaper, and then I'm left with more stock value in the shop than what we've made out of the product that we've sold. And even though we were the first people to be doing authentic RDAs for sort of, I think the very first one that we done was around about $24.99. Back when people were charging 160s and 140s for fucking RDAs. And then when we done the silver plated deck and the slam 'em cap that had the airflow control on it and the separate drip tip, they've got to mech the sleeve, they've got to mech the AFC, they've got to mech the drip tip, they've got to put the O-ring inside the AFC, they've got to put the O-ring on the deck. The deck is the most expensive part. It's got the deck, it's got the peak insulators, it's got the screw in the bottom, it's got the post in the top, it's got the screws put in there. Someone's got to do. The machine don't put the screws in there.
It's not a machine with hand and chisel, is it? You know what I mean? It's got to be done.
I mean, they're produced on state-of-the-art CNC machines, but the point I'm making is, like for the deck, you've got the actual deck itself, then you've got the positive post, then you've got a peak insulator at the top, you've got a peak insulator at the bottom, you've got the 510, you've got 4 screws in each deck, you've got 2 O-rings on each deck. Someone's got to put them 2 O-rings on the deck because a machine don't do it. Someone's got to screw 4 screws into the deck because a machine don't do it. Someone's got to put the positive post into the deck after they've put the peak insulator in. Then they've got to put the positive post in. Then they've got to push the insulator into the bottom. Then they've got to screw it up. This is after they've made the fucker, sent it out, had it silver plated, bought it back. You know what I mean? And it's, when you look at the process, anyone that says to me, oh, if you paid more than a £5 to get that, you're a prick. I'll give them a tenner. There's a tenner. You go and make me one for 10 quid, mate.
Yeah.
Because I'll give you 20 quid. Go and get me. You go and get me one of them made in the UK for £20, and I'll buy them off you, and I'll laser grave our fucking load one.
In the UK,
huh?
You won't even get the screws in the UK for 20 quid.
There's people charging fucking £5 and £6 and £10 for a fucking a bottom fed screw, mate, for your RDA, and they'll gladly pay a tenner for a screw. And then go, you pay more than £5 for that RDA, mate. You want fucking shooting? I'm like, you ain't got a clue. You ain't got a fucking clue.
Yeah, it's the stigma of, oh, it's made in fucking China.
You know what? Stigma of
9%.
This whole thing of, like when we were buying clone in big quantities, and we were buying them in big quantities, we were getting some of the clones were coming into us. But we'd buy them, say, somewhere between $12 and $18 at a time where the exchange rate was pretty good. So we were getting about 1.5 to our pound. But that's obviously a purchase price. Then I've got to pay shipping on it. So if it was $18, it was roughly, by the time I'd shipped it into the UK, it was 18 quid, because the difference in the exchange rate was taken up with the postage.
Yeah.
Then I've got to pay VAT and I've got to pay import duty on the product. Two different costs. Now to get that, and then, but then, like I said, these people were making 90,000 of that mod a year. Now, when I went to them originally and said, "Look, I need 100 mods making," they were like, "Yeah, you're looking at $70 a mod," and I was like, "Fuck off, mate, you're crazy." And he was like, "Literally, Paul, for me to set that machine up to make 100 mods is ridiculous. We set them machines up and we run 10,000 minimum. You're asking me to do 100. It's like 1% of what the machine would normally do. So the setup time to do 100 or 10,000 is no different. The only time the scale of economy kicks in is once they've made 5,000, the next 5,000 is cheaper because the machine's just running and running and running and running and running. When they've got to completely set up a CNC machine and program it to do 100 mods for me, it probably took longer to do that than it did to make the fucking 100 mods.
Yeah.
So I was like, look, you work with me and I'll work. As it goes, they did work with me and they brought the price down and we retailed that very first set for $99.99 with the RDA, with 2 caps, with 2 coloured sleeves and all that fucking malarkey. Now, actually, when I went back to them then and said, right, I want to do 200, they were like, no, you got to do minimum 500. We've done that as a sort of a trial for you. Now, I've got me by the bollocks because we've put the product out there, we've sold out. I need more product, but do I need 500? And I ended up having to say, look, I'll pay a little bit more, but just do 300. Then we launched the clean mods with I think 900 mods I had to have made. I didn't have to have 900 made, but I think we had, the trade-off was when we done, the brass was the only one that weren't copper. So the black color change was copper. Obviously the copper was copper and the silver plated was copper. So the trade-off was, in fact, I must have took 369, 1,200 mods. I said I'll have 900 copper, so I'll add 900 plain copper, 300 plain copper. I'll have 300, another 300 copper but silver plate them, another 300 copper but black colour change them, but I only want 300 brass. And they've done that because I'd had 900 copper. So that was 1,200 mods coming in. It's a fucking massive amount of money for us at the time.
From 100 mods to 1,200 is a big jump, isn't it?
But that was like, we done like the first 100, then we done a 200 on the sleeve, 200 he done on the second batch of sleeve mods. Then he was like, Paul, we need to get up to like 400,000 minimum runs here because the machine's just not productive at them numbers. So we done a 100, then we done a 200, then we done a 350 sleeve mods. Then we launched, and literally as that batch of sleeve mods landed, they were already working on the clean mods. The clean mods landed and they were bought and paid for before Expo even come, and we launched that at Expo. Then within 2 months of that, we launched the cleaner mod, and the cleaner mod launched in 6 colours. And again, I'm like saying to them, well, look, make aluminium, but I'll have some black anodized, I'll have some blue anodized, I'll have some purple anodized, and then we'll have some bare aluminium, and we'll have some stainless, and we'll have some copper, and we'll have some brass. In fact, we've never done a copper cleaner.
No.
Because they wouldn't do 200 of them.
Right.
So everything we had done in the cleaner was brass or aluminium, and then we done it like a limited edition stainless steel one.
Steel, yeah.
And then when we done the dirties, I had brass and black aluminium, and I stuck to 2 colours because they wouldn't play ball with the numbers again. So
Yeah, I think there's only like 300 stainless steel, aren't there? There aren't that many.
300. That's
300.
I do, yeah.
It's just mad how, like, the evolution of it that's gone through. You know, as you turn around and saying you started 100 mods, then 200, and then the factory's turning around and going, "I've literally got you by the balls here, Paul. You need to make fucking 5."
Yeah, I mean, literally, mate. We were in the middle of the project when I said, "You know what? Fuck yeah, I'm done. I'll find someone else to make it for me." And in fact, at a time when the very first, all the first lot of sleeve mods and the first batch of the V2 sleeve mods came from Rulian, which was our first manufacturer, who were one of probably the biggest clone manufacturers in China at the time. and someone that we'd worked closely with for the previous 3 years. And they'd done the very, very first, in fact, they never even done the first batch of clean mods, they subbed it out. And the person they subbed it out to is the person that we still use to this day. And that was because his wife worked for Rulian, and she told me that her husband was actually, he'd won the contract to subcontract the clean mods because they were that busy they couldn't do them, and they were starting to push my price up and whatever. And she basically says to me, he already had his own workshop prior to this, and one of the other big companies, I'm going to say Coinbroke, but I might be talking out of turn, so we'll just say one of the other big companies fucked him for a massive order that he'd made personally. Now, he's a one-man band. He had at the time 2 or 3 people working the workshop with him, but they fucked him for a 10,000 mod order, and it took him under. He stopped producing e-cigarettes. Then she started working at Rulian, and then she was sort of managing him to get some work through Rulian, where they were making, because Rulian used to make, like, Rulian were the only company at that time that made the Limitless clone.
Yeah.
Even though Coinbroke sold the Limitless clone, it was actually Rulian's product branded in Coinbroke boxes. There was other products that Rulian sold that Coinbroke made, but Rulian branded it in their boxes. So they would, like, people would go, oh, you can buy these clones from anyone, but actually most of them were coming from single sources, and then they were sort of distroed out within China themselves. She said to me, look, he's made this 1,200 mod order, and you'll see that his quality's on point and everything else, and he's looking at starting himself. And I said to her, I'd already sent her abusive message saying, you know what, fuck you, fuck your pricing, you're taking the piss. I know you feel like you've got me by the balls, fuck you, I'm out of here. And then they pretty much said to me, we'll just sell your product as clone. And I says, do what you've got to do. I'm done. I'm not using you anymore. But I leave the product. So I took a bit of a backward step. They took a bit of a backward step. We met in the middle. The first batch of clean mods come in, and from that day, I never ordered another thing from Rulia. She left the company and went and worked for her husband, and then made the product direct. Then about 6 weeks later, she sent me an email that Rulian had sent to her saying, because she used to deal with my account for Clone and for Endless, basically saying, where is all the product that we had made for Endless Mods? Because we're going to sell it. But she'd sold me everything that they'd manufactured prior to her leaving. So every single product that they'd made, I bought, and it just got shipped out to me. So they never had none of the products there. And then they put the T-shirt. They made the very first snapbacks for me that had the thick swoosh on it, and the T-shirts that just had like the splash of paint and the Endless logo in the middle of it. They were only cheap. They were fucking a couple of dollars each or something for the T-shirts. And then they listed the T-shirt on their catalogue, and it was just like, I know it was just their way of saying we made Endless, so we're actually capable of doing decent products. Now, as it goes, I mean, I can't even slag off Rulian, to be fair. The product they made for me was good. They were good at what they've done. They're just a much, much bigger organisation. And it was one of the reasons that, look, mate, I had an email off Coinbroke 2 years ago saying, we're not sure what you're spending on product. We know that you're making quite a lot of products. We will reduce your manufacturing cost by 40%. Now, 40% at that time was probably getting on for, I don't know, £100,000. He just saved me. And I still says, no, I'm not interested. Because I just felt like once you get into bed with them big boys, they'll just start fucking you. And then the likes of Coinbroke, mate, they'd have just fucking flooded every single clone catalogue in China with Endless clone, which is still the same product because they're making the fucking stuff. Do you know what I mean? And that's what happens.
Still happens to this day, though, doesn't it? With authentic mods being sold as clones and the manufacturing the same fucking factory.
I messaged my agents at Coinbroke. We used to buy direct off Coinbroke as well. So anything, like if I said to Rulian at the time, I want some Able mods for argument's sake, she used to say to me, we buy them off Coinbroke. Now, we used to get favourable prices both off Rulian and off Coinbroke because we were buying such big numbers of mods. But obviously, I could probably buy off Coinbright cheaper than Rulian did because they didn't particularly do each other any favours. Like she'd showed me invoices where when we bought the Limitless modding, I went back to, and like we bought that as a complete set. So I had to pick the colours. I had to pick the colours of the body of the mod, and I had to pick the sleeves. They came as sets. Even though we then broke them down in store and said, right, you can buy a body or we'll sell you a sleeve, we'll do it. I had to sort of decide what I wanted as a starting package. So I'd said to Rulian, sorry, I bought them off Rulian, and then because they manufactured the mod. And you know what the mad story was? I bought some dark horses off Rulian 2 years before, and they were fucking shit. I mean, badly, like they were really bad clones that I never sold. And like where on the genuine dark horse, they got square posts, hadn't they?
Yeah.
To stop the posts spinning in the deck and stuff like that. And what these constantly got square posts, and the posts sat flush on the deck, and then the screw went under, and this cunt still spun. Like they weren't a square milled into the deck. Do you know what I mean? And I was like, what the fuck, man? So, and I remember messaging not even the woman that I dealt with. It was a bloke that I'd bought this gear off. Now I tell her, like, what's the same bird? And I remember messaging her and saying, these dark horse RDAs are shit.
Yeah.
She pretty much says, what do you want me to do about it? You've got them, and I've got your money, and fuck you. And then I used to get fucking hounded off them, mate. Hounded to spend my money with them. I was like, fuck you. I didn't even ask for my money back, man. I just said to you, they're shit. And before I even had a chance to engage in a conversation about any refund, you basically told me to fuck off. And then I remember seeing the Rulian catalogue come through to my email and seeing the Limitless on there. And I was like, fucking hell, it actually looks quality, that does. Obviously, until I get it in my hand, I wouldn't know. And I messaged her and says, send me one sample mod of that Limitless clone. And she was like, okay, it's $26. And I was like, send me a mod. And if it's decent, I'll buy some numbers off you. And look, we literally shot out thousands of them Limitless mods. We couldn't get them in the shop fast enough. It was ridiculous. But she would not sell me the sleeves separate, even though they were manufacturing. And then Coinbright emailed me and says, oh, we've managed to get hold of some Limitless stock. And I was like, how much are the sleeves? And she was selling me sleeves cheaper than what they were buying them for off Rulian, because we spent so much money on the other clone product with them. So then, like I was saying to the Rulian, I want some just white sleeves. And she was like, yeah, something like saying $9 or $10 each. And I was like, that don't even stack up, man. We're selling because of the price I was buying the kit for, we were selling the sleeves for fucking 10 quid. $9 is £9 by conversion rate, roughly, by the time it's got into the UK. I was like, I can't pay $9 for them, man. These sleeves have got to be like $3 or $4. She's like, no, that's stupid price. So Coinbright messaged me and says, oh, do you want to put an order in? Yeah, I do. I says, actually, I've noticed in your catalogue you've got some Limitless stuff. Can you do me just a sleeve? Yeah, no problem. $3.50 a sleeve. And I was like, yeah, mint. I'll have 50 white sleeves. And then the bird from Rulian messaged me when I posted them up on the Facebook page to say, where you get white sleeves from? And I was like, Coinbright? I said, why you buy from Coinbright, not from me? Because she's fucking cheaper. And she's saying she can't be, we sell them to him. And I was like, trust me, she's cheaper. Then them two were fucking arguing. And I was like, I didn't do this to shitster, actually. I didn't realise at the time, until we had that conversation, was when I realised that Coinbright's Limitless were Rulian's Limitless.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's mad. But then, like, both companies were saying to me, if you want that product, you're better off buying it off them, because by the time they've sold it to us and we put our margin on, we're not going to be as cheap as them as what they'll supply you. Because they want your business direct. They don't really want to give it to us. They only give it to us because we've got some product that they want. So it was crazy.
It's fucking madness how that all went on.
But yeah,
That sort of stuff doesn't really happen these days, though, does it?
Rulian literally messaged her and says, where's all the Endless stock? We want to sell it. And she's like, Endless bought everything.
That's fucking crazy, that.
But I emailed him and says, take my fucking t-shirts off your catalogue, you scumbag cunts. And basically told me to fuck off.
So the product could have been cloned before it was even fucking on the market in the UK.
When I spoke to another big manufacturer of clone product who also went into making a lot of the UK authentic stuff as well, they basically said to me, we'll do a big run of your product, we'll ship you out your stuff, and then we'll backdoor the fucking clone. And basically you'll get a fucking percentage margin of all the clone that we sell.
What?
And I was like, fuck off, mate. I can't fucking knowingly sell identical product cheaper. Because what they were basically saying was, if you want to say order 1,000 mods, we will make 15,000. So we'll make 15,000, which means your product's cheaper across the board. You only buy your 1,000 or 1,500 or whatever you want. And then we will then market the other remaining 13,500 as clone. And I was like, my price is already cheap enough not to ever need to do that. It's crazy.
You know for a fact that that's definitely been done.
I know it happened with 2 American companies. 100%. I know 2 American companies knowingly had clone backdoored.
Wow.
All over the world, mate. And probably one of them being the biggest clone ever to go out there.
Fucking hell. And they would have made stupid
Crazy.
off
And that's when I heard that that product was being made in China. Before ever it came out, that product was being made in China. And literally they had 2 different finishing processes. One of them for the UK, for the American made, and one of them for the clone. So things like machine polishing weren't done on the clone, but it was done on the American made stuff. So it went out there and it's American made and stuff like. And I was just like, what the fuck, man? And then people will slate me, saying, "Oh yeah, Paul's trying to fucking make out it's UK made." When I've never once tried to make out it's UK made, never. It says on our fucking website it's manufactured in China.
That's fucking madness.
Mate, I've had people post on my stuff going, "Fuck endless, man, it's Chinese, it's all about the soy." What's the geezer's name from Subhome Innovation?
Say that again.
What's the geezer behind Subhome Innovation?
Is it Ben? Is he called Ben? Benji or something like that.
He even commented, he put a row of laughing faces under my comment. And I hadn't even slated soy either. I'd just put, "Mate, you don't even know what you're using yourself, you prick."
Fucking hell.
It's literally like me going, fuck that, mate. I can't eat fucking prawn crackers. I don't like that Chinese food. It's all about fucking egg fried rice. Like literally, and I was like, "Mate, you're using a Chinese manufactured mod."
So even to this day, people still don't know stuff's manufactured in China.
Yeah.
But do you think, to me, I think people turn a blind eye to it. They know damn well that it's done like that, but they want to turn around and go American made,
Soy had American made product, didn't they?
I think their first couple of runs, that was it.
Yeah, not even the first couple. They used to do both. You would pay $350 for a shorty that was American made, over 125 quid or whatever it was for a Chinese one.
Which makes fucking 0 sense.
Which is why we never done a UK mod. I didn't believe anyone would get any better value for money.
No way. We know for a fact manufacturing in the UK will be fucking expensive. It'll cost you what it would cost you to sell it to what it would be to manufacture it. And they're using the same fucking equipment.
To be fair, I spoke to one UK manufacturer that meant we say like our clean mod at the time at $59.99 was unheard of for an authentic mod. Like we were the first people to hit that sort of price range. And I remember speaking to a UK manufacturer at the time saying, "Look, I can't sell it for 129 quid. If I'd done a UK made one, maybe I could push it to 89.99. And actually what it meant was I was spending more money on the product, but I was still making the same amount per mod. So the margin was just shitter on the UK one. And I was still prepared to do that, to be fair. And the reason why I never done it was because I couldn't get a UK made RDA. because they just wouldn't manufacture it for that. Like says, when you sit down with a machine shop and say, I want 500 decks and 500 caps making. Now, that's not a particularly small number, but compared to, like, when you go to a UK machine shop and they've got to make 500 decks, 500 positive posts, machine 500 dowel rings for the inside, 500 dowel rings for the thread. They've got to get the screws. They've got to fucking make the positive post, screws in the deck, O-rings, the cap, the airflow control, the drip tip, the O-rings, blah, 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 blah. Mate, it was more to manufacture an RDA than it was a mod. By a long, long way. So actually, we'd have been ended up selling the mod for $89.99. I'd have needed 180 for the RDA.
Yeah.
Like, but that says I didn't even need 180. They would not make the RDA in the UK.
Would you think that was because physically they couldn't?
No, I think it was because actually, by the time they look at products, I was just looking earlier on a video of a company in China that are embroidering snapbacks. And it come up in my news feed, and for what anyone thinks, when you're paying 20 quid for a snapback, some of my snapbacks have cost me 14 quid to make. Because by the time I bought the snapback and I've paid for the embroidery, like even when like the one that you've got with Big Tom on, to be fair, them ones were cheaper. But the one that you've got with Big Tom on or whatever you've got on yours on the back, I pay for the logo on the front, I pay for the logo on the back, the same price, regardless of the fucking size, because they've got to reset the machine and move the cap around and all that malarkey. I've seen a Chinese company earlier, embroidering hats. The quality looked fucking sick on them. And it's always something I've been dubious about doing through China. But they had 130 embroidery machines going, doing the same hat at the same time. So whatever the cycle time is, probably around about fucking 2-3 minutes per hat. 130 hats every 3 minutes, mate, done.
Wow.
You get to the UK company and you got one geezer man with one embroiderer.
And they're not cheap, an embroidery machine.
No, well, I looked at an embroidery machine and I know about 20,000 quid. That's to do one product at a time. And if I buy another one for 20,000, I can link it.
Yeah,
I went to the print show the other month to have a look at that for doing apparel and stuff like that. And then to get a decent printer that would print, so I could print onto the mods and print onto clothing and do literally you could print onto the surface of water with this printer. 25 grand, mate, for a fucking printer. It's quality. And actually, had I have seen that 4 years ago before we started Endless, and when we got into Endless and we were manufacturing big numbers, I probably would have bought one of them at the time because we literally could put designs on there no one else could rival. I mean, that printer was next level impressive, like really impressive.
Still 25,000.
But it's £25,000, and then you've got 20 grand for the embroidery machine. You can get cheaper ones, but they're just not. They just don't give the same fucking level of quality. And then, but I mean, it's still something I'm looking at potentially doing is the apparel side of things. You know what I mean? I still think there's a decent business to be had out of that. But then when you see the likes of China with 130 embroiderers going, all in sync, and there's fucking like, I don't know how many people are on that line, but there was about one person per 5 machines. And when it stopped, they all walk in, fucking 5 new hats, and then bam, they must shout something, all 130 machines rev up again, mate, and the next 130 are being done. And that's the difference between China and the UK.
Yeah, you can't get stuff like that, can you?
I mean, there was times when I ordered fucking 1,000 decks and they're going, oh, can't you do 2,000? Well, it's 1,000 decks, you mad fuckers. And they'd say, well, what we'll do then, we'll just make 2,000 and call the others off. Because by the time we've set up the machine and sent them out for silver plating and built them and done, it's not even worth us fucking about with 1,000. We're going about 1,000. It's a lot of decks to sell. I mean, I don't know how many decks we've had manufactured. I think somewhere between 15 and 20,000 decks in over the years. But yeah, I mean, there was lots of things that they just made extra of on the basis that they hoped that I'd buy it, and in most cases we did.
That is mad. Right, we need to get on to Ask the Boys, and it's 10 to fucking 10.
Over. Never. Told you how to be done by now.
You are!
You are!
We run over every week. What are you talking about?
Told you to finish by 9 o'clock tonight, Tom.
All right. We've got ask the boys, and then we've got to do Paul's status of the week. And I can look through. I did see you was doing a live feed earlier, or someone did comment on the status thing you put up. Someone was saying, "Where's Paul's fucking angry side?" I hadn't seen a rant, and someone was saying, "I saw that." So I seen you got live earlier this morning. I was fucking half zombied, so I thought he'll invite me and I'll be there. So I didn't fucking come into the live feed. So we got a few questions. The first question was from Anthony Sullivan, and it said, "If you had the chance to collaborate with another company, who would it be and what would you release?" And I'm going to change this question a little bit. If someone had the opportunity to collaborate with you, Paul, who would you choose and what would you make?
You know what? I'd struggle between two people. I'd love to do something with Max because I love Max, and I'd love to do something with Tom O'Connell because they're just two genuine, straight-up geezers who do what they do, and they've both done Chinese manufactured, UK, or obviously in Max's case, Canadian, American, UK, and in Tom's case, UK and American, but China manufactured product. Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've got one of the things that I've done. I don't know if I mentioned it on last week's show, but about 3 weeks ago, I decided that Pandemonium needed to be 28 mil, not 25 mil. So we've got possibly 10 mods coming from China, possibly before Expo. And they literally said to me last week, "If you order today, we'll produce you a batch for Expo." And I said, "Listen, I've not tried the mod. I can't just order that." Again, I haven't even agreed the minimum order. I know this factory, it's not the same factory that normally make our product. It's the factory that's made lots of other authentic Chinese-made stuff. And I know that they're good at what they do, but I know they operate on 1,000 minimum order quantities. But I also know they're desperate for my business. So I'm pretty much saying to them, look, the reason why we use our existing supplier is, well, for many reasons, but it's along the lines of, we've worked together now closely for the last 5.5 years because we bought Clone off. We dealt with her personally to buy Clone right the way through. She worked for Ruli, and then we moved over to her manufacturing facility. And the other thing is that, like, when we done the Emma, I only wanted a couple of hundred of each colour. And as much as they're reluctant to do it, they do it because in the past we've spent a lot of money with them. And then when we done the Emperor, we done a couple of hundred of each of them. And I didn't want to do more because mods just don't sell the way they used to sell on the mech side of things. So, and the other thing is yes, they're fucked up along the way, but they've always genuinely gone out of their way to rectify any fuck up they've made. My concern with anyone else is that I'm just another customer who they don't know. We've got no relationship with them whatsoever. I've got no clout with them. It's a case of, you want 1,000 mods, you send me the money, we'll send you the fucking mods. Now, Chris, who started off the design of the Pandemonium, which weren't called the Pandemonium, I can't remember what he wanted to call it. But either way, I mean, Chris has obviously worked with that company and they've made stuff for him. He's worked with them on other projects for other companies, which I'm not going to name because it's not fair to. So I know they're capable of doing it. They're genuinely hounding me for the business, and I'm saying to them, look, you need to be able to be keen on price for starters, but price will never ever overrule the quality. And the other thing that's important to me is your ability to do 50 of something quick because I need 50 of them. I don't want fucking 10,000 of them. I don't want 5,000 of them. I don't even want 1,000 of them. So, I mean, when we do this first run of mods, I'm going to push for 200, 250. I know they're going to push me for 1,000. But as soon as we get the prototypes in the UK, there will be a couple available to people at Expo. Now, whether that is winning them through competition, I haven't even decided yet. But we'll get some out there. We've got I don't even know how many are coming, Tom, to be honest. We've asked for 10 to 15 prototypes, which meant I could have one, Tash could have one, you could have one, Adele could have one, Adam could have one, the staff Disco could have one, the staff in the shop could have one. Then there's a few then to dish out at Expo to other people. They might send 3, they might send 4, they might send 20. I don't know. Is the truth of it. Once I'm happy that that mod's right, then we've also got a design for an RTA stroke RDA, so it can be either. You can run it as a 28mm RDA, you can run it as a 28mm RTA. You choose, you get all the bits free to fucking decide what you want to run.
That's what I'm stoked for. I'm stoked for your design on a RTA.
Yeah, and again, that's something me and Chris are still working on together. And the thing with Chris is, he's obviously got a really good knowledge of the product. I believe that I've got a really good knowledge of the product. I know what I want it to do. The thing with Chris is we can have a conversation in English. Now, I mean, it makes such a big difference. And because Chris can work the CAD, he comes back to me within a day or an hour or a week, depending on what his schedule is, and says, "What is this? What you meant?" And I'm like, "Fucking hell, exactly." And even down to, look, I've changed slightly the sleeve design on his stuff and changed the way that everything slots together on the threadless bit of it, slightly different to how Chris had it. And it's still a similar concept. But the fact that he'd give me something to hold in my hand meant that I could look at it and go, well, I'd want it to do this, I want it to do that. And then literally video call him and say, you know what, mate, if you machine that over 180 degrees by 2 degrees, instead of it just falling in, it'll click in and it'll just make it a little bit more solid until you put the sleeve on and lock everything into place. And then we went through 3 switch designs, and actually the latest switch design is an endless switch with the threadless connection on it, because it works and it's a reliable switch and it does what it needs to do. And we were a bit like, we were having a conversation on video call about a month ago, and I was all for constant contact. But then I was like, mate, I can clean my motherfucker. I don't need it. I don't need it to be any more conductive than that.
Yeah.
And it works. And it does what it needs to do. Just read it. And he was like, mate, I literally phoned you up to start. We're stressing over your door, and you've got a one there that works. Let's just do that. And that's what we've done. So as soon as that comes back into me, if I'm happy with it, we will order that product straight away. Then we will do a pre-order on that product. People have been saying, how much do I need to pay? I want number 69. You want to reserve a number, you pay for the mod in full. Simple as that. And if they're gone, they're gone. If they're not, they're not. It's up to you. So it will be the first time ever we've done a pre-order on the product. And that is just, if you want to secure a number, knock yourself out.
Right, that's perfect. So the next question is from Zach Stanley. I know he asked me earlier if we was going to do questions from last week. I said, yeah. He's put, people smoke fags that are £3.50 for 20. Paul will know the old knockoff ones you get at a local Polish shop or something like that. What would you say is the same kind of choice for a vapor's juice-wise? Or when price are that low on the vape juice, the industry just can't compete? Is there a cheap and cheerful juice out there you would think satisfies these kind of people? So basically what he's saying is, you've stated plenty of times that you've never ever bought shit fags, whether you were on your ass or not. You've never had shit fags. He's saying,
I also, I don't know if I did claim or not. I used to sell cheap fucking knockoff fags to the local shops. It's what I used to do. And the money off them paid for me to have proper cigarettes. I used to sell fucking clone Noid shocks. And the money I made off them, I bought myself a pair of proper shocks from Gator. And then I used to wear the proper shocks and go to them. Look, mate, the quality on these, they're fucking well worth 40 quid. Yeah, go on then, chap. I'll take a pair in each colour. They look mint, they do. You know what? There's a seat for every arse. And there's people. I had a conversation with the liquid manufacturer yesterday, and we was on about the price of liquid. And I said, look, the bottom line is, in fact, I'll tell you, we was on a video call, and a woman come into his shop, and he said to me, "Give us a second," and she was like, "All right, love, I want new flint for me fag." that was the words, and this cunt was calling it a flint as well. I'm not going to say who it was, but she says, "I need new flint for me fag. How much is that?" That was, and then he was like £2.50 or whatever it was. All right, and I'll have one of them, and I want 3 bottles of liquid. How much is that? And he's like 3 for 10 on the 10 mils, love. All right then. And then he basically said to me, "I'll call you back in a couple of minutes," and I'll phone him back couple of hours later when I got home, I was talking, and we was just on about generally the price of liquid, pretty much the conversation me and you had earlier about liquid and where it's going price-wise, and the quality of the product and the quality of the VG, PG, etc. And I said to him, mate, when we opened our shop, people came into that shop and literally asked for what they wanted and then said, how much is all of that, mate? Now, I would say that our average sale for 18 months was probably getting on for 50 to 60 quid was the average sale price for every sale that went through that till. Some of them are 250, some of them are 3 for 10 liquids, but average we were doing 50, 60 quid a sale. And no one, or very few people come in and says, oh, I need a bottle of liquid, mate. What have you got for a tenner? They just come in, I want one of them, two of them, a packet of calls, or this, that, and the other. In fact, oh, a new 100 watt module, I'll have one of them in black. I'll take one in purple for me fucking missus. How much is that? 220 quid. Throw you the card, stick it through the machine, get the gear and fuck off. People come into a shop now for one coil and say, how much is it, mate? 250. Well, they're only £2 down the road. You best fucking get yourself down the road then, bub. Everybody's got none in stock. Well, ours are only 150 when we're out of stock, you mad cunt. You either want it or you don't. People, but I said to him yesterday, when as a kid, I always smoked Benson Edges, which were the most expensive fags you could buy. And I'd got friends that smoked Super Kings because they were longer, so you got more fag for your money. And I had other friends that smoked Royals when they come out because you got 25 in the box that was the equivalent for 20 fags. So every person I knew in the world smoked Royals for 6 boxes and then said, I can't smoke them. I need to go back to my normal brand. But they tried them because you got this increase of 20% in your packet of fags. But then I had other tramps, mate, who literally would pull nubs out of their pocket that they'd got out the ashtray and smoke them. No, I mean, genuinely. And look, one of them would go, oh, I fucking love it when our mum's in smoking, man. She never ever smokes. She only smokes half a fag and then doubts it. And he's going around the ashtray like a crackhead, fucking unfolding them before they go hard. You know what I mean? And he'd have a pocket full of these half-decent fucking nubs, like 2s on a fag. He's the sort of person that will buy 100 ml of liquid for £4 that tastes like shit, but it vapes.
Yeah.
And I'm not that person. And I'm not that. It's nothing to do with how much money I've got. I would rather buy 1 bottle of quality liquid over 4 bottles of what I consider to be shit. So there's a seat for every arse, mate.
Perfect. I'm going to go for one more question. And it is, let me get back to it. It was from Loki. And Loki said, what was your inspiration behind calling Endless Endless and AF AF? Obviously, I know that.
You know what? Again, AF was just that. I just felt that it gave the brand massive flexibility to be able to drop new product without exhausting the brand. That's the short answer. Because if fucking savoury flavours come out tomorrow as a thing, we can do them, and it can be something as fuck.
Yeah.
And we can do menthol as fuck, and we can do nutty as fuck, and we can do desserty as fuck. We can just basically, it just gives it a lot of flexibility. Flexible as fuck. And with Endless, it was really, when we launched the first mod, it was the first mod that could be single stacked, hybrid, or 510. And the different colour, and obviously it was based on the Limitless, but Limitless was definitely limited because you had no stacked option. If you had a brass one, you had a brass one. On our one, you could have a copper body, you could have a brass switch and a brass hybrid. You can buy them bits separate, and the sort of combination of colour mixtures was endless. It just went on and on. You could stack it once, you could stack it 60 times, do what you fucking like with it. That's literally what. I really was good. I remember saying to Tash one day, do you prefer endless or options?
I chose options.
No, you didn't. She said you can't call it options. She says no, she never at all. I wanted to call it options, and she says options is a fucking hot chocolate from Cadbury's. And I was like, because in my head I'd got this. If you remember Benetton, you know, I was thinking options in different coloured letters to sort of denote the flexibility of the colour. I don't know. That's just what I'd got. But she said, "Nah, I prefer endless," so I went with endless. And actually, the very first logo was etched by Farhan at Signature Tips, and I've still got the button somewhere, but it's on a Limitless button. And it was a Limitless button that I'd bought for my Limitless, and I had the Endless logo put on it, and it was just a figure of 8 on its side. Like, it was like there weren't no sort of, it didn't have the same swoosh to it. And it just had the 2 broken lines where to denote that the one line had gone under the other. And I've still got that button somewhere, and it was the first Endless button we ever had made before Endless mods as a thing was ever done, because my initial idea for Endless was manufacturing product for other people's product. Because the whole thing that started the Endless mod was I wanted to stack my own Limitless, and I couldn't. And I was trying to make a stack section that went into the switch ends.
Yeah.
So we completely changed it so the hybrid come off and you could stack it from the top. So there you go. That's the story by where Endless came from.
Perfect. So we're going to go last thing, because I know Tasha wants to go to bed. We're going to do Paul's status of the week. It was from last week. And the status is that you've not done, you've done a few ranty posts, but there's nothing really. But I did like this one because we're on YouTube, we can say it. And it was, Dear Mark Zuckerberg, why can't my phone upload 3D pictures? Racist prick, you are a ginger asshole. Sort it out. Okay, thanks, bye. I thought that was fucking mint. But regarding the 3D pictures, we now know who's getting fucking robbed, because you can't take them on if you haven't got the fucking new iPhone. So everyone who's posting 3D pictures, expect your phones to get robbed. That's all I'm saying.
No, you know what it is? So, like, they've obviously, like, my S9 Plus has got dual camera on the back, so it's capable of doing a 3D picture. They've obviously just rolled it out. They always roll, like, even live feeding. Months, mate, I was waiting to do my first live feed, and I didn't have live feed capability. And all these wankers who couldn't live feed for shit, they went, hello, good morning, yes, I'm live again. I'm like, give me your fucking phone for 2 hours, let me do a proper live feed. Every day I'm checking to see if there's an update for my 3D, and I just want to post a picture of a mod in 3D. I don't know. It's not even, I'm not going to go all photographic on everyone. I was just a bit like, motherfucker, as if he chose Apple again, the prick. He's just an Apple. You just know he's an Apple nerd, isn't he?
I've got Apple and I still can't do
it. What phone have you got?
7 Plus. I'm well behind me.
What are you on?
What do you mean? I think it's a 7 Plus. No, it's not.
Yeah, the big fucker, ain't it, yours? Like, that's what one of our kids has got, the 7 Plus. Yeah, so on the newer one, obviously it's dual camera on the back, so you can do, that's what it does. It takes 2 different images and then combines it back into the 3D image. So I've got the capability, Mr. Zuckerberg, with my phone. You just need to sort your update out for Android users, you prick. No, Tasha, no, but they didn't. Not everyone had live straight away, did they? They roll it out. So many people.
They must have done it by alphabetical, because I wouldn't last to fucking get it.
Yeah, I knew loads of people that had iPhone at the time that didn't have live capability. But then other people sign up for beta versions of stuff.
Oh.
Like, you can sign up and be a beta user. When they launch something new, you can be like a product tester.
Yeah,
I wouldn't do that for that anyway. I'm not fucking telling him fuck all.
Right, well, we're out of here. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Remember to like and subscribe, press the bell icon. You get notifications every time we go live. You can also set up a schedule so you can get a reminder from when we go live every week. We will be doing an expo show next week. It may be a quick one because it's going to be busy on the Thursday, so we may run it Wednesday and just have a.
When are you down next week, Tom? Are you coming Wednesday night or Thursday morning?
Thursday morning. I've got to talk to you about what time you want me down anyway. So, yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining in. It's been amazing, and we'll see you next week, and we'll be doing an expo special. So, see you then, guys. Peace out.
Peace.